Hey y'all, I'm Birdie Nichols. I'm an artist from Nashville, Tennessee. I write my own songs, I perform everywhere, and you guys are listening to Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. You know, I'm part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And my next guest is coming to us from out there on the road, literally. Please welcome to the podcast, Birdie Nichols. Birdie, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. And I always tell people that those who know me know that I'm broadcasting from a little corner in the Tampa Bay area. And I always like to ask where you're calling in from. And this time I definitely want to know, because you got some traffic going on back there. And offline we had talked that you're not at home right now. Where are you?
No, I am in Scottsdale, Arizona at the moment. I just came from performing from a conference in Albuquerque, and so we went to Scottsdale because we just thought I have more things I'm going to play in Arizona, more places, and so Scottsdale's just a great spot to stop.
Okay, and definitely, hence the sun that's in your background, because our sun set about 2 hours ago here on the East Coast, so that makes perfect sense. But you're definitely out there on the road, like a true musician. And tell us a little bit about that. Do you like being on the road? Do you like the traveling, or you just like the performing part?
I love both. Performing, always loved to perform, but we drove here because we just thought it'd be so much fun to just go from Nashville to Arizona, Albuquerque. And so we made some fun stops along the way. So that it always makes it more fun. We got to go to the National Cowboy and Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
We went through Cloudcroft in New Mexico because there was a big snowstorm when we were driving.
Oh, wow.
We detoured.
Yeah, that's definitely different from the weather that's here in Florida right now. We actually are getting a cool front while we are recording this particular podcast, but our cool front is like it dipped into the 60s, I believe. So nothing like snow, nothing like that. But that's about as cool as it gets here for a while, until come late December, January, we might dip into the 50s, and if we're lucky, which I'm hoping, because I do like some cold weather as we get down to the 40s. But everybody here, when it drops below 70, is all bundled up.
Well, I mean, it doesn't tend to. Arizona's weird, especially in like the Scottsdale, like the Sonoran Desert part, because it's like 70s during the day, and then as soon as night hits, as soon as the sun sets, it gets freezing, because it's just, for some reason, it's cold. So
yeah.
You'll see people, like, during the day they're in shorts, and then at night they get big old jackets out and they're like shivering and they light fire, like have fire pits all lit up and such.
Oh, yeah. And I definitely know what you're saying. It was about this time last year that my daughter, not only does she play softball, but she's been playing baseball ever since, T-ball. She plays with the boys. And there was an all-girl tournament that they had out there in Arizona that we got to go to in December. And so we understand, being nice and warm in the day, and then, of course, burr at night. So we get it. And I love that, actually. I would love to be warm in the day and just love to bundle up in the evening. How do you like the weather?
Oh, I love dry weather, because I'm not a huge fan of humidity. So I love I like when it's warm and I can be all like, oh, it's kind of like summer Christmas, yay, or just summer winter. And then it's like, if you're feeling you really want to be cold, then just wait till the sun sets, and then you're like, well, I got my cold, so just gotta wait till it comes right back up and it'll be warm again.
Yeah, I'm always about getting the best of both worlds, no matter what the topic is. I always love to do that. And you talked a little bit about some of the places that you stopped on your drive there. Are there also any games that you play while you're in the car, or do you just listen to music?
Ooh. We like to turn on like the radio and see how the music differs through each state, because like it's really interesting. We go through some of the country stations. It's really funny to see how different it is from Nashville, and then like you go through Arkansas, and it's like all of a sudden it goes back into older country music instead of the more modern poppy. And we also like will take I'll take pictures of like road signs that look cool, or we just like try to see, oh, there's an abandoned building, I wonder what that was. We just try to find different little landmarks that are interesting.
Yeah, because that is a long drive, and there's definitely a lot of things to see along the way, but there's also a lot of stretch of land that just looks the same over and over and over again. So you got to kind of
Yeah.
keep yourself entertained.
Yeah.
But I think this is a perfect time to play our first song by you, "Into the West," since you're out there on the west side over there. When we'll come back, we're going to learn a little bit more about you.
I'm a trailblazing tumbleweed, a straight talking wind wandering melody, roaming, arranging, rambling, blowing down those dusty roads, guided by the legends of the past, never knowing who I'll meet when I'm blazing
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my special guest who's in the West over there with her latest song, Into the West, Birdie Nichols. And, we're having a good time. And that's the amazing part about, this online stuff. Of course, it's been around for a while, but I could not imagine, doing interviews like this, as a kid, because it was just not possible. And now I get to talk to people. A lot of them are from Nashville and Nashville, but then sometimes I talk to them, they're out west or they're out in even different continents when I speak to them. And so we want to find out a little bit about Birdie Nichols for those who don't know. But before we do that, I'd like to start it off with one of my newer segments called Two Truths and a Lie. People seem to really like this. And basically, how it works, if you want to play Birdie, is that you're going to give me three statements in any order. Two of them have to be true, one of them has to be a lie. And then at the end of the podcast, I'm going to try to guess which ones are the truths and which one's the lie. So if you want to play, why don't you give me three statements?
Yeah. Oh, I would love to play. Ooh, okay. My favorite color is blue. I started playing the viola when I was younger, and I was a member of a rock band at one point.
Okay, so I need to find out if your favorite color is blue, that you started playing the viola when you were younger, and you were a member of a rock band. So that's going to be a little tricky trying to figure that out. And I will do my best to tailor the questions so that I don't ask you something specifically about that. But if you give it away, that's definitely on you. So, but we're going to talk a little bit about you, because that's what I like doing here. I like documenting life's moments, and as part of my tagline, I either do it through photography, videography, or a podcast. And so, tell me about these life moments of yours where when you decided, hey, like I like music, that maybe you used to sing with a hairbrush or something like that. And then when did it get to the point was, hey, I want to move to Nashville and make this a career?
Well, I've always loved music since I was really, really, really little. I would be humming whatever song was on. I would just be humming along. I taught myself how to whistle because I just thought, hey, that's a cool thing to know. Let's try that out. And I came home one day. My mom's like, you're whistling. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, who taught you that? I'm like, I just figured it out. And she's like, okay.
That's awesome, because I still can't whistle.
No, that's one of my. I'll go in a grocery store and I'm not even thinking about it. I'll just start whistling whatever music they have playing, and sometimes someone will be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, was I bothering you? I was just whistling." But I always thought poetry, and I love to read, and so I would, along with that, I love like fiction books kind of. So fiction books has a lot of creativity when they're written. And so I would read them all the time. And that came with me like writing my own poetry and writing my own songs. And I didn't know half of the words. I didn't know how to write a lot of the words. So I would tell my mom or my dad what was on my mind, and they'd write it. I'd be like, can you write this down? And they're like, oh, okay. So they grab a pen and paper and they'd write it down. I sang in church a lot. I did a lot of choir, and I always loved going up on stage and performing. I did musical theater too. That was a lot of fun.
So when you say that you love going up on stage, did that come natural, whether it was in choir or musical theater, to be in front of a lot of people? Because some people, it takes them a little bit of while to get used to that. How was that for you?
Honestly, I think the bigger the crowd, the better. Because there's just like, I can do, if it's a couple people, that it doesn't bother me either way. But I think the more people there are, the more I can share what I'm doing. I like to entertain people. Whenever I helped out at some summer camps for kids. I would help out kids, and I would always I was always one of their favorites because I would always make up games to play or do fun activities that would I don't know. I was always the favorite, and sometimes my friends would be like, "How do you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. We're just finding fun things to do." I do silly voices, and they'd always think that's entertaining too.
So, what are some of the silly voices that you like to do? Is it after a character, or you just make them up?
I make them up. So one of my favorite movies is Brave, and so I kind of learned how to do a Scottish accent. It's not, I can't really, I don't have anybody to judge it after to see if it's actually how accurate it is, but I'm just basing it off of Brave. And then obviously a lot of people can do British posh accents because that's very fun to do.
Well,
then,
I love it. I definitely can't do anything like that. So you're definitely an entertainer for sure. I like that.
Yay.
And so at what point though did you decide, hey, you know what? Look, okay, I love music, I love writing things down, but I want to get a little bit serious and let's get to Nashville. Let's let's make this dream a reality. What changed and how that happened for you?
Well, like I said, always knew I wanted to do music, but I didn't quite know where. It was a little bit in the air about how what that path looked like. And then one day I was like, I don't quite remember. I think I was listening to either Johnny Cash. I've always loved like Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton and all them. And
got some great taste there.
I was listening to, I think I was listening to Johnny Cash, one of his like best of Johnny Cash album. And I was like, I want to do that. I love artists on stage. And I was like, I really like country music the best, like Western country music the best. I've always liked that better than any of the other genres. Like I love to sing practically anything. You can give me any song and I'll try to sing it because it's just fun to learn new things. But I sat down and was like, I really, this fits. This feels right. So, and I taught myself how to play guitar too. And when like before that connection like clicked into place too. So that also kind of helped out a little bit.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Western aspect of it. There's not too many people that that I get the chance to interview that do the Western, because I definitely like that type of music, and it's just not enough of the people out there doing it. But I don't know if you know who Mikayla Lane is, but she was one of the first new artists that I got to interview, and she has that whole Western theme too. And I'm like, I love it. I want more of the Western. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the country pop, but there's also a good time to have the Western, and I'm glad that you're out there doing that.
Yes, I love Western. And growing up, I grew up here in Arizona, so that's also another reason why we came to like Scottsdale. So we're actually in front of one of the coffee places that we used to go to all the time. We'd walk around.
So you definitely got that history there.
Yes. Like, because growing up out here, it's very different. You learn a lot more about the history of the desert and like people who used to live here way before like anybody migrated here, honestly. A lot about the natives and all that. So that helped influence as well, because there's a ton of ghost towns that we would go visit, like Jerome. We would go up there all the time. Sedona, Flagstaff, Tucson. We drive all over, and even some like the more niche places. Like there's a lot of native artisans who you can buy stuff in Old Town Scottsdale or in any of the other towns.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And as I mentioned, we were there last year, but we didn't really get to experience a lot of the culture or that kind of stuff. And hopefully the next time we make it back, we'll have more time to do that. I want to go ahead and play the next song by you, Tough as Diamonds. And when we come back, let's talk a little bit more.
'Cause I'm tough as diamonds, you can't hold me down. I stand up to pressure and it's backwards down. Baby, you can try to force me to change. I'm gonna shine my own time. When I was only
And that was Tough as Diamonds by Birdie Nichols, my special guest here on Hank's Corner. Of course, I'm Hank Jr. And, one of the things that, I hear, well, and kind of people see as far as like, the movies and the stories or whatever, that, musicians kind of have to be tough. We talk about Tough as Diamonds, and you're making that move to Nashville, starting kind of over, starting from scratch. How hard was it for you? And, also on the flip end, we always hear that, Nashville is a community that always seems to come together as a family. Did you get to experience that as well? And who took you under their wing?
Well, my parents are amazing. They moved out there for me. And so I actually got to finish my education in Nashville and around that area. So that helped me. I made a lot of good friends, a lot of friends of mine who just, they listen to my music now. One of them, all of them are in my music video. They're awesome. But yeah, Nashville, because there's so much music, there's so many people who are just there to support. They're like just support circles. They're fantastic. I'm NSAI, I would say, is probably, they were super, super helpful, super supportive when I first started going out and performing and like saying, yeah, I write all my songs and all that. Jill and Bart at NSAI are definitely two major players that help keep me going.
Yeah, and since you've been there, has there been anybody in particular that you've enjoyed maybe doing a writers round with, or opening for? Anybody in particular that you just were glad to do it? And on the flip end, who would you like to meet while you're there?
Oh goodness. Oh, well, my producer, he is fantastic. I got to do a performance with him. He was my backup. He was on keys. Oh, he's fantastic. I love him so much. He's amazing. He just understands what I'm trying to do for my songs. And so it's always, whenever I get to play with him and perform with him, it's always just a fantastic time. And honestly, I've had so many amazing writers rounds with friends of mine that I met through either NSAI or another writers rounds. Actually, I met Doug and Danny. Doug was through Writers Round, and Danny was through the Musicians Union. They have like this, they take in writers bring a song, and they have a full band that plays it, and it allows the writer to either feel like, oh, maybe we go this direction, or ooh, what if I did this? It kind of just helps them think of different ways to present their music. And so I met Danny there, and we just like he had a Christmas song, and I had Desert Lilies Blooming, and we were both like, wow, your songs are amazing. And so we were like, hey, let's do a round. So he invited me to a round, and then we just started playing around together a little bit, and he's awesome. And Doug was through Writers Rounds, and then he invited me to one, and then we started playing around as well. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great when those kind of connections just kind of come together. And we're gonna play another song here. For those that like I said, we're in the Tampa area, and this song is not about the hockey team here. It's called Blue Lightning, but it is one of Birdie's songs, and we're gonna play that next here on Hank's Corner.
Dark, in takes to turn your life around. One night, one strike is all it takes to turn your life around.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. Once again here with my special guest, Birdie Nichols, and you just heard Blue Lightning. And, as the sky starts turning more blue back there, definitely want to start getting ready to wrap it up. But before I wrap it up, I definitely have to make my attempt at guessing, which two of the three statements you gave me were true and which one's false. So, sticking with the theme of blue, you said that your favorite color is blue, that you played the viola when you were younger, and that were a member of a rock band. And I really don't know. You did not give away too much. While we're doing this podcast, and so I am literally going to have to take some guesses here. So just based on the fact that you have a song called Blue Lightning, I'm going to say that your favorite color is blue. I'm going to say that you were a member of a rock band, but I don't think that you played the viola when you were younger. Correct me where I'm wrong.
Well, actually, my favorite color is red. And as much as I love to wear blue, red is my absolute favorite color. Just red rocks in Sedona, those sunset. Normally, it's pink and like goes down to red and like this kind of blood orange. A blood moon is beautiful. I've really only seen it full once, and that was just spectacular. My phone case actually is red.
Well, there you go. So that must mean that you did play the viola when you were younger, and you were a member of a rock band. So tell us about the rock band.
Oh, rock bands. That was part of my high school, and then we also had a band outside of high school as well. It was my band outside of high school and the high school band. We did a lot of rock music. We did a little bit of other music as well, but it was mainly rock. We did Crazy Train was one of my favorite songs to sing in the rock band. Open Arms, oh goodness, Heart of Glass, Black Sheep. We did Zombie by the Cranberries. We did so much. It was a lot of fun. And we played my outside of school band. We did a lot of festivals. We did a lot of the festivals around Franklin, like Pumpkin Fest and the Main Street Festival. That's what it is.
And what was the name of the band?
Ooh, we really did not think the name through at school. Yeah, we didn't really have a name. There were a couple. Oh, what was it? I don't actually remember. One of them. Okay, there was another one. It was Cactus Helmet, and I did not come up with a name. I thought it was really stupid. Like, it was just. Well, I wouldn't say stupid. It didn't make sense in my opinion.
It's definitely different.
Yeah. I tried to like vote like a couple names that were either like, at one point I was so desperate. I was like, well, we could do Birdie and the Boys because I was the only girl, but they were like, no, we don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what you guys want to call us. Was it Blue Island or Blue Neverland? It was Blue Neverland. That's what it was.
You see, you definitely throw me off with this blue thing because it seems to be a theme, but yet your favorite color is still red. Red.
Yeah, I do like blue. It's just not my favorite color. It just happens to be everywhere. So.
Yeah. So now that you're, a solo artist, tell us, if somebody were to come to a Birdie Nichols performance, what should they expect?
Well, they should expect me trying to make funny quips in between for my intros, for my songs. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. A lot of my music, and maybe slip in House of the Rising Sun in there, or some Dolly Parton, or some Fleetwood Mac for a couple covers.
And maybe a couple of different voices, right?
Yes, sometimes a couple different voices, maybe some whistling. I do like to whistle when I perform. I'll like do a bird impression because when I like to, I've sometimes Birdie sounds like some people are like Bert E, and I'm like, or like Bert, and I'm like, no, Birdie, like a like a
All
Tweety
right,
bird.
there we go. I don't even have to ask. I was going to ask you to do a whistle for me, and you did that. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can also do a duck impression.
Oh,
Kind of.
well, now that you say that, you're going to have to.
uh,
Oh, that's awesome. Little Donald in there too. And my son definitely likes ducks. And he's a teenager. And one day we found him on the couch, and he took a selfie because here in Florida we do have a lot of ducks. And somehow he had a duck sitting there watching TV with him. And he kept saying that he wanted to keep the duck, but we're like, look, they got to be free. We got ponds here, and we finally convinced them to do that. But that's pretty cool that you can do this different voice things. I don't have any talents when it comes to that, but Birdie, it was definitely great having you on the podcast. You're definitely
Yes,
fun, definitely
thank
entertaining.
you.
If you ever want to be a guest on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, but thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.